Are you one of those players that likes to play spellcasting classes, and would you like to have a ton of new options, access to over 600 new spells for your spellcasting class, for your wizard, your warlock, your druid, or whatever spellcasting class you're playing at the moment, together with new magic items, new schools of magic, and even new subclasses? Well, make sure to check into Deep Magic from Kobold Press. Before we do this, again, a quick disclaimer. Yes, my channel is still endorsed by the ever amazing Kobold Press. The only thing that means is that if they send me something, one of their modules, I put it on top of my to review pile. So it's the first thing I get to read. Then if I like it, and only if I like it, I feature it on my channel for you guys. That does not mean that this video right here, right now, is in any way, shape or form a commercial. As a matter of fact, nobody asked me to do this, so before you put that in the comments like you're doing commercials for Kobold Press, I am not. All I want is to share this very cool new Kickstarter they're doing, and they already funded in like 5 minutes or something. I want to share it with you guys because I think it's really worth it. It's of course called Deep Magic by Kobold Press. Now first, a little bit of history if you do not know what Deep Magic is. Deep Magic is a series of PDFs, so digital modules, small modules, Kobold Press has been releasing on their website for a heck of a long time. Now, they have been doing it for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but there's a lot of these modules out there, and every time they go about, they handle a new school of magic or a new way of casting magic, and there's always new spells in there, and sometimes there's new even monsters in there or subclasses in there. And well, long story short, they actually decided now it's time to put all of that into one big tome, one big module for 5th edition. Now, that does not mean that we're getting the same content just slapped together. No, actually they are updating, refining, rewriting, because there was a lot of playtesting, their spells, their subclasses, everything they wrote for Deep Magic. They're refining everything, and the things that they still are happy with and they still think are worth it and are good. And we know how Kobold Press only releases good stuff. Well, almost only releases good stuff. So I'm very confident this is going to be good. They're just putting that in a big module, but they're also adding a ton of new content. They are giving people chances to write their own spells. So if you become a backer, at a certain point you can write your own spell, and you have a chance of them featuring this spell in their module, which is pretty cool. They're going to add new subclasses. There's going to be, I think there's even going to be monsters in there. There's going to be new schools of magic I didn't ever even hear about, so that's very exciting. Deep Magic is in one way a passion project from Kobold Press to put their successful PDF series, which are quite successful. And I had a lot of people on my channel already comment on my videos asking me to review Deep Magic, but I haven't really gotten the chance because, like you know, I'm more of a physical copy kind of guy. And now that there is a physical copy coming, well, it seems that I'm going to get the chance to look really into this Deep Magic. If you want to visit the Kickstarter, make sure to click the link in the description below. They were actually looking for 18,000 US dollars to make this project a reality, and they are now at 81,000 freaking dollars, which is a heck of a lot of money. So you can say the project is funded, but we all know that Kickstarters actually become more and more epic and more cool the more people that actually back it, because there is a thing as stretch goals, and there are a lot of stretch goals already met. And I'm talking about new backgrounds, I'm talking about a new school of magic, there's even arcane servants, there's all kinds of stuff that's already met that's going to be put together into that book that's already going to be a big book and a big tome, but it's only going to be bigger. But there are also a lot of stretch goals that haven't been met yet. For example, there is Infernal Magic, that is a new school of magic. There are more backgrounds that are coming. They want to use more backer spells in the book, so there's even more spells coming. And as you can see when you're scrolling this Kickstarter, you can really notice that they want to put a lot of effort into this module. It's already going to be a very thick tome with a lot of spells, but they just want to put more in there. And I think that if we keep backing them, and you guys just visit the page, if you want to back them, that's great. If you don't, that's also great, but just take your time and just visit the page at least once to see what it's all about. I think it can become a really great module because, well, there is a lot of modules out there for Dungeons and Dragons, but I think a module that has more than 600 new spells that are all written by a company that knows what it's talking about, so a lot of play testing, a lot of balancing, I think we can actually really use that in our campaigns, and it really fits into a lot of people's games. Another thing I want to say is, you know that feeling when you back a Kickstarter and you spend like, I don't know, $50 to it, and you spend your money and then you have to wait like a year or maybe even 2 years, and then you kind of forget about it, and then it suddenly drops in your mailbox, and then you're like, oh yeah, this was a thing. And well, the excitement is, I don't know, the entire excitement maybe is a little bit gone because it takes such a while for you to get what you actually pay for. Well, I have a feeling that this is not going to happen with this one, because I want to say 70 or 80% of this book has already been written. For example, there are all the PDFs of Deep Magic that already have been written. They already have been updated. They've already been play tested. They've already been renewed or whatever, so there's already artwork commissioned for them. So the vast majority of this module, of this tome, is already done. So the last part from the Kickstarter, the backer spells and all of that, has to be added into it, but they're already writing a bunch of that stuff right now as we speak. So I have a feeling that this one is not going to be such a long time before it releases after the Kickstarter. As a matter of fact, if you decide not to back it right now, no problem, because I think it's coming pretty soon, and I will of course get a copy. And when I get a copy, I will of course, if I think it's cool enough, I will of course feature it on my channel right here. Long story short, Kobold Press is doing another Kickstarter. It's already funded, like always. It's going to be, I think, pretty amazing. It's full of spells, more than 600 new spells, subclasses. There is going to be maybe even monsters, new schools of magic, everything for your magic casting classes for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So if you want to check it out, make sure to click the link in the description below. If you want to back it, very cool. If you don't want to back it and you're holding off for a little bit, also very cool. I hope your inspiration may guide you.